Hello, you. Hello, YouTube. How you doing? Welcome back to another video. Today we have a Samsung Galaxy Tab E from 2018. It is the Verizon variant, which would make it an SM-T387V. This has a pretty good story to it, I guess, or not pretty good story, but good bit of damage. So let's take a quick look at the charge port. That thing got mangled. Poor little charge port. What happened to you? We'll zoom this back out so we can take a look. We're going to get to repairing this thing. Let me grab the first thing you want to do to open one of these is grab your SIM eject tool and eject your SIM card and SD micro tray out of your tablet, and then that very spot right there that we used, we're going to exploit the weakness in the plastic along this edge to get into the tablet. I'm going to open this guy up and go for replacing the charge port. We need just that little tiny bit of separation, but this is going to be your weak spot, SIM card / SD tray. That's where your weak point is. We'll put it in and slide it up here to the corner. One thing you definitely want to be careful of when doing this particular job is you don't have much leeway for being able to pry where you're not risking breaking the display to pop the back off of these. You do have a little bit of wiggle room, but not much. We're going to need a different tool for this, and I don't think I have one laying within. Oh, yeah, I do have one. Holding at the corner, you can get one of your other tools and start working your way around the corner of the tablet. Make your way across the bottom. Don't want to pry on it just by grabbing the back cover and yanking backwards. That's never a good solution, so we're going to continue with our plastic pry tool. Where are we still latched? We caught up on our port, possibly. Alright, the back's off. We can now get into the tablet. Let's go ahead and take a look at this here. We're going to get our 000 screwdriver. The first thing that we're going to want to do is identify our battery, which will be this connector here, and undo it. Let's get a pair of tweezers on the job. And we'll take a good zoom in on this so we can see exactly what we're doing. Okay, so we do have a little piece of tape here. We can go ahead and grab and lift out of our way and just stick it there for the time being. And then you'll have a latch right here that you can lift up. Once you lift the latch up, grab your battery cable. And you should be, you have little T-tabs here on either side where you can pull it out. Once it's out, I like to take and bend them out of the way so they're not going to connect with anything. Actually, zoom it back out. There we go. Secondly, here's our port, this side. We will start working on getting the screws out. You need to take one out for your speaker module here, and then the other few screws. You can use a plastic tool or just a metal one, something with just a little bit more gusto, a little bit more chooch. Once you press it in there, in right here, it will lift the speaker right out. We'll disconnect our main cable that runs from our main board or motherboard down to our daughter board or power distribution board. We have a few more screws to take out. We also have an antenna wire here. And then you'll find this metal plate that is held down by 2 screws. And then we should be able to extract our power board. We'll set the tablet off to the side and take a look. Now, certainly that's not glue. That should just be adhesive holding that on there, but we're going to check real quick. Perhaps we will put a little bit of heat to our board to see. I want to say, yeah, it's not soldered on. This is just a basic, like an anchor point to anchor this little power distribution board down to the frame of the tablet to hold our very fragile micro USB port into place. So we'll set that off to the side as well. And there's our victim. This is a goofy port. It has a few pins more than your average micro USB cable. Most just have 5 pins. This one, we'll take a look at our replacement. Okay, virtually no change, but a smoother ride all around. So we need to desolder this here. Let's boy, what do we do? What do we do on this one? We'll add some solder to those anchor points. Let me go ahead and add some solder to them and attempt to wick some of it up. All right, solder applied. Probably too much, but we want to remove the stuff, right? We're going to go ahead and set our iron down for 1 second and throw some flux on there. Well, more than enough. All right, we're rolling. I thought I might have forgot to unpause it. Yeah, and it honestly didn't remove any more than I thought it might, but we got some out. Hold on a minute now. What happened there? Indeed, what happened there? Sorry you can't see anything in the upper right corner, but it's just don't have a button to turn that source off at the time being. Let's go ahead and throw a dab of solder back on these, and we're going to hit it again with our iron. I'm really going to hold the heat on it for a moment and see. Don't want to burn the board, but I do want to see if we can pull more solder out of those joints. And honestly, no, doesn't look like it. And I never really liked that solder. Let's try a different type here for one moment. That's one of those suspicious brands. We'll go with it. Now comes the not so fun part. We don't really have any components close to it, so we can hit it with some hot air and lift that right off of there. And it's off. Why? Let's flip over to this cam now. Back it out a little. Why are you changing out the micro USB port on such a small board? My answer to that is simple. It's not so much that it's more work. Yeah, it would be quicker to do it the other way. The part costs a little more, but it's not that. It's just from so many years of doing charge port replacements on many different devices, collectively speaking, on many different devices. A lot of these boards are either aftermarket boards or ones that come straight out of the, the bin, the trash, wherever, you know, the scrap pile. And people, I mean, you can buy new ones, not saying you can't, but a lot of them are genuinely just scrap, especially ones that I've ordered in for, you know, like last year, the year before's model phones, tablets. They just, ugh. I've gotten so many fake or bad boards ordering stuff. So I typically tend to use the customer's board, change out the port, and then, you know, a good 90, high 90 something percent of the time it works. I'm going to say in the past 4 years, there's probably been two that didn't work with just a port replacement that needed another component replaced somewhere else on the board. But here, we're good to go ahead and clean this up, I think. We'll go back under the microscope and yeah, we're good to go and put the new port on. Okay, so let's get our scope back out here. Get some of our stuff out of the way. We'll flip back over to this view. And let's throw this under the microscope. Okay, so there's our board, as you can see. We'll go ahead and get that cleaned off. Grab yourself a few swabs and your favorite little mini bottle of IPA, if you have one. And go to work with the cleaning. We're going to have a bit more work ahead of us than we wanted to because we let that flux dry, like actually cool down. No biggie. We'll throw some heat on it, warm it back up if it doesn't want to scrub off. And it really appears as though it's just flux in that hole. There's that stupid pin thing that gets in the way 100% of the time. And this one actually has solder in there and some solder in that side. Ideally, we would like to clean those out. Without anything in there, it should be an easier task to clean it out, hopefully. We'll grab our iron for a minute. Yeah, and without the legs in there, the micro USB port to anchor down, it definitely pulled out the rest of the solder a lot easier. Let's see if we can repeat that on this side. And that would be a no, not so lucky. There we go. All right, where's our board? Where did it go? Throw a bit more IPA on the situation. Bit more solder on that pad than I would like. We're just going to go ahead. There seems to be enough on there, so I'd say it's safe to just take our iron and tap each one of those, maybe drag a little of that off while we're at it. Yeah, there. That one looks like it's loose, so we're not going to play with that anymore. Every time I touch it, it seems like it lifts a little. It is still connected because it starts here and comes out this way. But as you can see, there's not much because it ends here, goes through with those vias to the other side, who knows where. So let's work on getting our port on here. So here we have, if I can get to it, our spare port, and it looks purports to be the same part. Flip over here for a moment. I know you can't see nothing. We'll brighten up our light. And flip back over to the microscope cam. Just blinded everybody. So here's our old damaged port. And then we'll put our new one in beside it. So yeah, everything appears to be the same except for just the way, literally the shape. I mean, it's got the same anchor point from port to port, but just these little punch outs, or where the stamp was when they folded the metal and pressed it. All right, it's anchored on there. I think we do the back pins first and then we'll worry about the ground legs. It's gonna make it harder to drop. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing finished. The pins are not perfectly connected there. You can see we have some solder on all of them. Get off there, that looks just bad. What we're gonna do is take and anchor in our legs with just a little and then hit it with some hot air quick. You know what, let's hit it with hot air first, press it down, hold it, and then we'll do those legs. Like I said the first time. Don't listen to me, I don't know what I'm talking about. Hopefully we don't melt our plastic much. We're just going to blow some hot air on this and let it sink. Why did I put so much on and then remove it? Well, there's that metal shield that comes across this side to kind of anchor the whole thing down. We don't want these sticking up too far that it's going to keep that up in the air. So go for the gold on this one. All right, last big humps everywhere. Give this a quick clean. Give this side a quick clean as well. All right, and our part is good to go. All right, we got our tablet, we got our back, we got our board, we got our little metal thing. Whatever, I don't know what it's called, but so far, all's well that ends well with this one, I hope, we believe. Let's put this in and do the damn thing. All right, in. Let's put our little metal plate on. We got to turn 2 screws in. Well, 4 total, but 2 for this. And then we'll see if we can turn her on. Or not turn it on, if we can actually charge it. So we'll get our 2 screws. All right, 2 screws are in. Wi-Fi wire is in place, or cell antenna, whatever you want to call it. We have 2 more screws to put in, and our speaker module in place. All right, and almost time for the verdict on this one. We need to plug in our battery, piece of tape for the battery latch, and let's see if we can get a charge on this tablet. There's our new port. Plug in and see what's what. Ah, dummy. All right, we got to do it without the light. We're just lifting the battery latch and pulling our battery cable back out quick. We forgot the one main ingredient, the main cable that connects the 2 boards. So let's put that back in place, plug our battery in, we should have success. See if we're golden. Battery in, battery down, different story. Plugged in, and it's now charging. Whereas before, that other port was the ultimate rage quit. I don't know how they folded the port, the metal on the port like that, but there's definitely a rage quit situation on that one. Anyhow, thank you for joining me, tuning in, clicking the link, coming over, hanging out. I do appreciate it. Comment, like, subscribe, all that jazz. We will see you in the next video.